implying what is about to happen on May 29th in Nigeria shouldn't happen. Am I correct?
That's correct.
So,
that's very correct.
Okay, now we know that you are in court, but again, there is no date fixed for the hearing of your matter, so which means nothing will stop the challenge which you are trying to put up.
You can't say that now. It's too early today. The matter has just been filed. The court will fix the date. We know they will hear it before the date. Today is what? 6th. So don't worry. Even if a day before that, 29th. Even if it doesn't happen, the second arm of our prayer before that court is not about stopping it in an inauguration. We have to be clear on this. It's about defining what an interim government, as they are now instituting, should do, because there's no other name to call such ceremonial other than an interim government. Here, people shout they don't want interim government. But what are you doing? It has merely been declared by INEC, and that declaration has been challenged as wrong and as invalid. And the court is yet to hear it. So why do you want to preempt, prejudge, or predetermine the issues before a court of law? Which is better? To stop it now and ensure the system is purified, or go ahead and institute a government you know will corrupt everything in the interim, by the way, because the outcome of the court decisions are yet unknown, are still very unknown. And so we are Nigerians, I think we are teaching the world the wrong things. We are not even learning from the world. So the second arm of a prayer, the court can also determine that even if it's sworn in, and which Nigerians have not explored, even if sworn in or inaugurated, as Nigerians will want to hear, you have a limitation. There are things you cannot do. It's still an interim government. It should function as a placeholder government, in my own perspective, because we have an existing right. Whoever is being inaugurated on that day is a placeholder, and that should be made very clear. And that's what we are asking the court to direct. So people are looking at inauguration as if it means anything to anyone. In Nigerian parlance, it means nothing. In fact, what you're inaugurating is fraud. We're institutionalizing fraud. Let's be clear. You're not doing anything legal or lawful. So even if people will come and tell you, oh, the Supreme Court said you can do so. No, if in the case of Ono and Ejim Nwobodo, the same Supreme Court in the past held and made it very clear that you cannot swear in a man whose election is in question. So we, in every day, instead of us moving forward, we are, regressing. We are moving backward.
All right, fantastic. You have said you are viewing the president-elect as an interim placeholder. But again, reactions that we've seen so far coming, particularly for those close to the president-elect, Festus Keyamo, for example, said to you that you are suffering from a new strain of bipolar disease. And according to a statement by Festus Keyamo, he said, how would you want to stop the inauguration of president-elect when you run against the president, Muhammad Buhari, in 2019, lost, you challenged the victory in court, lost, now you're trying to stop the...
Let me say that I don't know who is called Festus Keyamo. He must be a very junior young lawyer. I knew he worked with my late friend Gani Fayemi. That's much I heard about him. In recent time, I couldn't have been an SA and be a mere PR of people. This legal profession is a very noble profession. I don't respond to people like that. And he's very beneath me. And again, he should know, if he's a lawyer, that what we are saying is they can't put the cart before the horse. It is the normal legal path. You do not do that. Whether I ran against this thing, all I'm saying, which is not disputed by his master, who should be Buhari, by the way. I don't know who now, is it Tinubu or I don't know who he works for. Is who's in court with me has not challenged my rights. We are saying is that we have an existing right, a subsisting right. And so we have an interest in that inauguration, which is natural and expected. So we cannot sit by and watch idly by and see things happen against our interests. So we have to approach the court to prohibit not the Tinubu or prohibit the man who is making arrangements for this inauguration or what. Tinubu is not before the court with us. His challenge is with those who he ran an election with. And we are like a catalyst. We have to see that the system functions properly, and people do the right thing, not just arguing for the sake of your stomach, like some people do these days. I do not think there are certain jobs I cannot even accept. PRO of who? I will not. Not even clients I have prosecuted before. If you are a principal lawyer, you wouldn't do that. You will reject such appointment. You don't need it because you have integrity. But if you don't have, by the way, you will do anything. So now let's be clear. We have made our point. You can go ahead and inaugurate for the sake of it, but we have made our point that is an illegality. We have made our point that it's institutionalizing fraud. There's nothing greater than the electoral fraud. And here we have an image of a country battling, a very bad image of, you know what I'm saying. So the truth is, we have to begin to see how we can repair and, show the world that we are a serious people. Not listening to people like Keyamo. Don't mention him before me. We have to be serious about what we do as a people.
Fantastic.
We have to be serious. Exactly. Okay. I didn't hear you, sir.
Well, fantastic. I'm just saying that you're making your point fantastic. And if you just tune in, you're listening to Point Blank. We're speaking to a former presidential candidate of the Hope Democratic Party, Chief Ambrose Owuru. And we apologize for the poor telephone line. Chief Ambrose Owuru is joining us all the way from Abuja. Chief Ambrose Owuru has gone to court asking that the organizers of the May 29, 2023 swearing-in ceremony put a hold to that particular event. Ambrose Owuru predicated his position on the fact that Tinubu inaugurated as successor to Buhari on the ground that he is the constitutionally adjudged winner of the 2019 election and has not spent his tenure as required by law. Ambrose Owuru is insisting that President Muhammadu Buhari has been usurping his tenure of office since 2019 because the Supreme Court had not determined his petition filed in 2019, wherein it challenged President Muhammadu Buhari's victory. He also applied for another order placing a notice that any form of inauguration organized by President Muhammadu Buhari on May 29, 2023 remains and its view as an interim place order administration. And we've been speaking to Barrister Ambrose Owuru, who is also from Rivers State. Now, Barrister, I just wanted to stay with us, Chief Ambrose Owuru. I'm just going to try to take one or two calls. Let's see if we can have a conversation around all of these. So you want to comment on what Chief Ambrose Owuru has been saying so far? The telephone numbers to call us on 070 5079 1021. Again, the telephone numbers 070 5079 1021. Let's try to take one or two calls here. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Pastor Kevin.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, my Chief Comrade, I am great.
Good.
Yeah. Pastor Kevin. Hello, Pastor.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. And greetings to the Honorable Barrister as a special guest this morning. Yes, my question this morning, why there shouldn't be a national conference to check all these things that an elected governor, elected president should be sworn in after every court litigation. There shall be an interim government if the court has not dispensed their judgment. I think that is where this country is getting it wrong. Because when the occupancy get to the seat, hello? When the occupancy get to the seat, he influence the court and the judges. So in a circumstances like this now, the matter filing by Andrew Owuru, the legal practitioner, I strongly oppose that when if the judgment is not been dispensed before 29th of May,
Okay.
Ahmed Bola Tinubu gets to power. For me, it will influence the court and it won't get
Fantastic.
judgment.
Chief Ironbricks, thank you so much for that wonderful point you've made. And we have Mishak Uyi also joining the conversation. Mishak Uyi, good morning.
My worry is that our brother, our daddy, is almost being seen as somebody who is perpetually claiming a mandate that at a certain time he will not allow the matter to continue, and then when the election comes up, it now opens it up. And it's a bit worrying because he is my brother, a Rivers man, he's our daddy as well. Don't you think that if he's saying that the president-elect will be a placeholder, kind of, and so for that reason that maybe since he said there will be no vacuum, the Senate president or the whoever can actually stand in. Don't you think that it's the same thing if he allows the president-elect is allowed without being encumbered to continue until the Supreme Court adjudicates the matter before he now, places a logjam. So my worry again is that he is coming on air to talk about this matter. Don't you also think he's also sub judice, considering his own high caliber of personality, especially with how sensitive this kind of issue is?
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mishak. Thank you so much for that concern. And let's take one more before we come back to Chief Ambrose Owuru. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you.
Yes, my name is Edwin.
Edwin, good morning.
Yes. Please, I want to plead with your guests that this country needs peace at this time. And we cannot continue to face all of this kind of confusion. And I don't know if what we intend to do is to write a brand new constitution for us. This is not the first time, this is not the second time that we are having issues like this. And the president or governor has sworn in, and the court cases go on. For people who will like to create tension, create unnecessary, issues that does not exist anywhere. Don't we have peace in this country? And when trouble starts, they will run away because they have the word to do so. Let them allow us.
Thank you so much, Chile Edwin. And again, let me welcome back Chief Ambrose Owuru. Chief Ambrose Owuru, I believe you heard all of the callers and what they're saying. Just one moment, Chief Ambrose Owuru. I'm going to join. Dr. Christine Otiasa is also calling in. Dr. Christine Otiasa, you could just make your comment in 30 seconds.
Okay. Good morning.
Thank you. Sorry, Dr. Christian Otiasa, I think your line is muffled.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, very well. You can go ahead. Again, we apologize, Dr. Christian Otiasa. The line is not very clear. You may want to go back. So again, let's come back to you, Chief Ambrose Owuru. Your reaction to the comments made so far.
Yeah, thank you, Shegun. Even I didn't hear them very well. At least I can, unless maybe you want to, recast it. But again, the point they have raised are good observations. Just that most of them are not fully abreast of the facts. We have never abandoned our rights. We have all along kept some of the issues, if you like, quiet. because it's been going on, it's been ongoing. We were at a point the president himself constituted a committee under the Attorney General to see how they can work out this, because we should, it was embarrassing that the Supreme Court of Nigeria gave us a date outside the stipulated 60 days to hear, the presidential election, majorly because the tribunal gave a mixed judgment. In one breath, certified us as winners because the respondent conceded to our petition. They abandoned their pleadings and conceded to our petition. It was as simple as that. People wonder, how do you win an election? You can win an election, just like most of you watch football, by walkover. The day that, on election day, any election fixed, constitutionally fixed under Section 132 of the Constitution. Section 133 even prescribes for a sole candidate if he wants unopposed. And that's what happened. And we took it off from there. And that's why you didn't see INEC tamper with the scheduled dates of the last election. Because their normal modus operandi is to wait on the election day and then postpone it when they don't have such constitutional rights. And when election is already ongoing. Because when sensitive materials have left into election, the election has commenced. And any candidate who stands by this thing, that's the election we thought God himself voted. I see. And so, because they know Nigerians will never vote right, they will always pander to their oppressors. Then they come back to cry. Then they come back to celebrate the same oppressors. Now God intervened in this very election. They're coming to the aspects whether can I allow somebody whose election is questioned instead of we should not be tolerating that or encouraging such, because the man will be desperate. People by nature are desperate, and now when you now swear in a man who's return his questions, what do you expect him to do? He will corrupt the system. He will engage everybody in the wrong way. He will buy up the system.
Okay.
And that's not what you want.
Again, one of the caller also... Okay, Chief Ambrose, one of the caller also challenged you that you being a very senior lawyer in the country, speaking on this matter on television and radio stations, isn't this subjugist?
No, you have just said that a date has not been fixed. So it is before the court. So as regards this inauguration, we'll wait for that date.
Okay.
Now, so we are free to discuss this matter as you ask them, as you want to know. The people have a right to know. People have a right to be enlightened. There's the court of the public opinion, and there's also the court of law. We have to let the people know where the right lies and begins and ends. Right now, they are not being served properly. Right now, they are being deceived. And now, they are not being projected properly before the world as a civilized democratic nation. That's not what you want. You are in Nigeria and carrying green passports. What do people outside the country view you as? So you must ask your leaders to act properly. So don't encourage, don't go dancing for them on those inauguration days, because that is itself is fraud.
Okay, fantastic.
So let us begin to
Chief Ambrose Owuru, I'm very sorry because we have very limited time, and I would love for you to speak also on the issue of politics in River State. And we just have 2 minutes. Just a couple of days ago, the president-elect whom you are challenging in court was in River State. Again, you as a Rivers man and as a politician who began from River State, though you're on the national front now, how would you describe the happenings in River State, particularly on the political front?
River State makes me, that's why I stayed away for a while. I've campaigned vigorously for equivalent governorship. I spend my money and time. With my bare hands, I created the equivalent governorship. I fought orderly. All of you have the records. I made sure he undertook to hand over to an equivalent man. He did a speech alive, is a witness to it. It was signed in the government house. I was the first senatorial candidate with me, Martin Yellow and Gary for PDP. We formed PDP. I was then the Chamber of Commerce president. So I still have an adjust decision. My seat was sold to create the PDP you have today. So, but my heart bleeds when I see what my brothers have done with this mandate. The first we started with Amechi, he squandered 8 years and sold off River State and then for his own personal ministerial position. Today we also have Wike doing the same thing for power. You don't do that. Everything is not about politics. What about the people? Some of us who have not held position in the last year, have we died? I have sponsored a political party on my own accord, my funds in the last 15 years. Has anything happened to me? You don't have to be in power all the time. Think about the people. Think about how is this. So why do you want to create a public holiday for commissioning bridges? He has not invited the government house. Maybe that's why they're taking the wrong step. Because I will tell him the whole truth, the home truth, if you like. This is not what we planned. This is not what we almost died for. So you must use the power properly. Look at the people. How has this benefited my people, the Ikore people? It has divided them more. I don't know who to talk to when I get to Port Harcourt. Someone say Amechi or Wike. I said rubbish. Nonsense. So you don't do that. You don't allow people. These two people have not shown you any idea. What about human capital development? I was the president of Chamber of Commerce. I pioneered this airport road and all that. I told all the leaders what to do at the time. That's what I needed. As Port Harcourt Chamber of Commerce, Port Harcourt Bayelsa, I know what I wanted. By now, I should have been seeing Transamadi bustling with life in business. I went to a 15th floor, I made a proposal, 15th floor commerce house for oil business all over the world. Our people can get involved in their oil business. My people have lost track. They have no more thinking about their oil as their well. They're only thinking about how to go to meetings and this over camp between Amechi and Wike. What? So this is why I stayed away for a while. So I concentrate in looking at what the presidency is. The Flyover bridges she has built so far, but I needed more. I wanted something more. If you know, okay. I'm a businessman.
Well, again, Chief Ambrose Owuru, we would also appeal to you that you have to come home more often. We realize that, yes, you've stayed away from Port Harcourt for a very long time, and we're hoping that very soon you will find time to come to Port Harcourt, and we'll be discussing with you on other issues, even on the economic front of the state.
Thank you very much.
Once again, thank you so much, Chief Ambrose Owuru, presidential candidate of the Hope Democratic Party. Well, thank you for joining us. And again, we apologize for the poor audio line. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
It's all right. Thank you.
Yeah. And that was Chief Ambrose Owuru.